So the other day I posted a skit where a woman calls a hotel and she asks what the rate would be for a night that she's attending a concert. And she is quoted a rate that's higher than usual. And she's told it's because of the concert, because it's an event night, the hotel is charging event night prices. Now, the storyline that happens in the video is that she says she may call back later, hangs up the phone, and then when she does call back, she talks to someone else and lies and says that the first person she talked to told her she could pay the non-event night rate for the hotel when that wasn't at all what the employee had told her. She gets called out for lying by the manager, gets added to the do not rent list, and that's the end. Moral of the story, don't lie about what an employee said. But there was part of that story that got a lot of attention that I frankly hadn't really thought about because I have worked in the industry, I studied the industry, I go to a lot of events, so it all seemed very normal to me. But a lot of commenters found it ridiculous that the hotel would even charge an event price in the first place, and a lot of people went as far as to call it price gouging. So I want to talk about it. Hi, my name is Jessica Vanella. I have a degree in hospitality management. I have worked at hotels for 7+ years. I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. And I really was surprised by the discussion that was happening over this little skit when that wasn't the subject in the first place. That wasn't something I had intended to be discussed when I put out the video, but I do sometimes like to explain different things about the hospitality industry. And so this seemed like the perfect opportunity. Now, just to get it out of the way, I want to talk about what price gouging actually is and why it's not what's happening when hotels raise their prices for events. Price gouging occurs when companies raise prices to unfair levels. But most of the laws around price gouging as it relates to lodging, because I am just talking about hotels in this video, I really am only comfortable talking about it as it relates to hotels. So if you want more information on price gouging and how it relates to other things, I highly recommend you look at it for yourself, check out some economist YouTubers, but that's not going to be me today. But most of these laws focus on increased prices during declared states of emergencies. Now, I live in Florida. I went to school in Florida. I have only ever worked in Florida besides the 2 weeks that I worked in Georgia on task force, but that's beside the point. Florida, mainly thanks to hurricanes, does have laws in regards to price gouging during declared states of emergencies. That means that essential commodities are protected, and those commodities include essential goods and services like food, water, lodging, and fuel. The law prohibits charging unconscionable prices, which is defined as a gross disparity between the price during the emergency and the average price from the 30 days prior. So yeah, when you look at a non-event night and it's $159, and then the next day because of a concert it's $269, that looks like an illegal price hike, and it probably would be during a declared state of emergency. But a concert is not an emergency. Neither is a holiday or a convention. People aren't seeking out lodging because they have no other choice. They're electing to travel, and as a consequence of their decision to attend an event or a celebration, will be looking for a place to stay. And so hotels are going to raise their prices to meet the demand. And look, I get it. It's annoying and it sucks, but if it was actually price gouging and if it was actually illegal, then hotels wouldn't be allowed to do it. But they are allowed to do it, and they do for reasons that I'll explain. Please keep in mind, I'm not defending this, I'm just trying to explain this. I also hate it, okay? I love going to conventions. Do you think that I want to be shoving as many people as I can into one tiny hotel room so that way we can be close to the convention? Or that I want to go book a hotel 40 minutes away because everything within walking distance is crazy expensive? Or that I want to stay in a sketchy Airbnb, which I am making a video about, it's just taking a lot of time, instead of a nice, safe hotel room? No! I also hate event/surge pricing. But that's exactly what we're dealing with, surge pricing, which is when businesses raise prices for products or services when demand spikes and supply is limited. And that's going to happen at hotels when there is an event that's bringing a lot of people to the area. Concerts, conventions, holidays, you name it. Demand starts exceeding supply, so they raise prices. And the thing is, people will pay it. That's why a lot of the time, the event organizers will negotiate with the hotels for room blocks at better prices, because they understand that their event is going to be bringing a lot of people to the area, and they want to try and help the people who want to attend their event pay less for lodging. Businesses can also do this for their business travelers, and families can do this too. Let's say that your family is traveling in for the holidays and you know that you are going to need a lot of hotel rooms. You can call hotels and ask to speak with whoever handles group bookings and negotiate for a set number of rooms at a better price than maybe you would get if everyone booked individually. But the thing is, these room blocks can still be a bit of a double-edged sword. For Dragon Con, which I've talked about a few times on this channel, they literally have what is called the Hotel Hunger Games. There is a countdown to when rooms drop at the host hotels at the Dragon Con room rate. And every year, the Facebook groups explode with people who are celebrating the fact that they were able to book a room at one of the host hotels at the Dragon Con price, or disappointed that they didn't manage to get it. And those who didn't win the Hunger Games are left with two options. One, they can book a hotel that is further away from the host hotels where the majority of the con happens and either Uber or walk or take public transportation in. Or two, they can wait for cancellations to happen at the host hotels and then try to book a room there. But the main issue with the second option, as my group of friends can attest to, is that you may not necessarily be able to get the Dragon Con group room rate if you book after the initial drop. Using the Hilton Atlanta as an example, instead of paying $300 a night at the Dragon Con room rate, you're looking at closer to $800 to $1,000 per night for a standard double queen room. I don't even know or want to know what the deluxe suites go for at that point. So yeah, and the thing is, people will pay it. If hotels are able to find people who are willing to pay the rate, of course they're going to charge it. But another reason for hotels upping their rates during events or holidays is that it helps to offset the loss of revenue that they experience during slower seasons. I'll be honest, off-season was my favorite time as a front desk agent because it was more relaxed. I could actually hang out and chat with my guests more because I wasn't needing to rush them through in order to get to the next person in line. And sometimes I even got to volunteer to go home early because we just didn't need as much staff at the front desk. But off-season is the worst for the finances of the hotel. Even if the hotel trims down their staff to a skeleton crew, like most do, there's still the general cost of just keeping the doors open. I remember talking to my accounting department and them literally telling me that we were in the red during off-season. There wasn't enough money coming in from guests staying to offset the cost of keeping the hotel operational. But they knew they'd be able to make up for the lost revenue and then some when events and the holiday season hit. So yeah, I get that it's really frustrating when you go to stay at a hotel and the rate is higher than usual. That sucks. It's especially annoying when you're not even there for whatever event is taking place. I saw several stories where people needed a hotel room in an area where an event just so happened to be going on and they were given the most insane quotes for prices. I feel for you. It's extremely frustrating, but it's still not price gouging. It's still not illegal. And it's still gonna keep happening, at least in the USA. Again, I am a US-based creator. I have only ever worked in the USA. I have never worked abroad, so I know that laws abroad can be different, but I'm hoping that me explaining this will be helpful to anyone who is looking to travel within the USA. And as for how to deal with this, I have a few different suggestions. Number one, if you are traveling for a sports event or a convention or anything along those lines, see if the organizers have arranged any special room rates for attendees. Number two, if you're planning a vacation and your dates and or location are flexible, do your research ahead of time and try to come during an off season or at least when there's not a major event happening. And number three, if there's no special rate and you can't avoid traveling during a holiday or event season, then maybe look into booking a hotel that is further away from the exact location that you're trying to be, and then take transportation in. Sometimes it's cheaper, sometimes it's not. Or, though it's never my first choice, look into Airbnb or Vrbo. It can be more affordable, and if you are traveling with a lot of other people, it could be more comfortable for everyone if you rent out a home with multiple bedrooms than trying to squeeze a bunch of people into just one hotel room. That's about all the advice I can think of, but please, if anyone out there has their own travel advice for this specific issue, please share it in the comments. A lot of times you guys point out something that I don't even know, and I love learning along with you. So that's it for this video. Thank you again for watching. Let's please have healthy discourse about this topic in the comments. I get that this is a touchy subject and I get the unfairness of it all, but please, let's stay kind and respectful in the comments. I would not want to have to add any of you to my own do not sell list. Or in other words, block you. That I wouldn't want to do that. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Jessica Vanel. If you would like to join my Patreon, it starts at $3 a month and it gets you access to all my videos early as well as my exclusive Discord. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. No worries if you're not though, no hard feelings. I always feel awkward plugging that at the end of my videos, but that's what I gotta do as a creator. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. Ugh. All right, that's the hard part over. Thank you again. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.